The following is a feature presentation of our nation's sports show. 3 weeks ago, we began our tradition that we started 5 years ago on the nation's sports show, analyzing every single division in the National Football League. Tonight, it is our final week of our conference previews for this year's regular season. Tonight, we break down the NFC East and the NFC West divisions. Next week, we make our picks on who we think will advance to the playoffs and who will miss the postseason by the skin of their teeth. The wait is almost over. In 2 weeks, the next regular season in the NFL finally begins. Tonight, we also bring to you the latest breaking news in the NFL, the NBA, and so much more. It's showtime.
Good up to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Tuesday night here on the East Coast, 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, 4 o'clock on the West, 5 o'clock Mountain Time. What is going on, everybody? Yes, it is I, that blind guy, once again in the lead chair, here tonight for another installment of our Nation Sports Show, live here on YouTube.com. What is going on, everybody? I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I know I did a lot of jamming, went swimming over the weekend. Oh, just a lot of fun over the weekend. And yesterday I went swimming as well. Getting some good old exercise in the last couple of days in the pool. That's a lot of fun. But tonight's going to be a lot of fun because tonight, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is our final conference previews for the upcoming regular season in the National Football League for 2026-27. And before we get to all of the happenings across the NFL, got to plug the social media platforms up first on the Twitter or X at Owen_Sports_Show. You can also follow us on Facebook.com/NationSportsShow, and where yours truly is riding solo here in the host chair on YouTube.com/NationSportsShow. Be sure to like, share, subscribe to all your family and your friends that love the world of sports. And also, don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter or X at Nation's Corner. Everywhere else on the Instagram, the YouTube, and the Facebook channels, they are all simply at the Nation's Corner. Join the guys and the gals as they recap all things professional wrestling. RESSLIN, that's wrestling. And a lot happening in the world of wrestling over the last several days, including an incredible Kevin Owens and CM Punk match on SmackDown this past Friday. And this Sunday, it is AEW All In London. Also, NXT has a PLE this weekend. And I don't remember who. There's another one this Sunday as well. But anyways, also Sunday was TNA Lockdown. Just a lot happening in the world of wrestling, and a lot happening here in the world of sports. But if you want your wrestling fix, you know where to get it. It's at simply the Nation's Corner. Check it out, 7 o'clock on the YouTube. Saturday nights where it's all right for fighting, as Elton John would say. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the nitty gritty, if you will. What we are here to talk about is the NFL because unless you're living under a rock, the NFL season is vastly approaching, and the NFL season will be here before you know it. And next week on the show, we will be talking about our playoff predictions and who will be missing said playoffs by the skin of their teeth. And I know Bo appreciates that, and so does Randy. I know John doesn't, but whatever. Anyways, what is going on, everybody? And before the conference previews get going, I do want to talk about the news of the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns the other day named Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback for Week 1 against Jacksonville after the disaster that Watson displayed on the field, and not just his performance on said field, but his mouth. Good Lord. This guy runs his mouth and is talking endless shit to the Cleveland fan base, who quite frankly does not deserve this utter display of stupidity from Mr. Watson. I mean, he is trashing the fan base. And if you look at Watson's statistics throughout the regular year, his numbers are putrid. And all of us here on the show have talked about this buffoon, and everybody in sports land, especially in Cleveland, I feel bad for you guys. Because Cleveland fans that have a set of brains and that know what the hell they're talking about will tell you on the street that Deshaun Watson is not it. And I remember all of us here on this show came on here when that contract was signed by Deshaun Watson. And I remember myself going on a rant and I just remember just going scorched on saying, are you kidding me? He doesn't even have the resume to earn that money yet. And not only that, but the allegations that are against him. And, you know, he's got a very bad rap. And when you look at the numbers with Watson, they signed Watson to a historic 5-year, $230 million contract in March of 2022. And the contract, what makes this so significant, guys, is that the contract is 100% guaranteed. Guaranteed. You're paying a man that isn't even worth the money, that hasn't won a Super Bowl. He doesn't have credible playoff victories. The one noticeable playoff thing that will go against him is the infamous choke job by the Houston Texans with Bill O'Brien as their head coach back in the 2019-20 season during the playoffs, when they infamously blew that lead of 21-0 against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Other than that, Watson's resume in the NFL is nothing. Now, from a collegiate standpoint, at Clemson, he was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Against Alabama and Joey's Crimson Tide in the national championship game, when he led Clemson to the go-ahead touchdown drive to win the championship game. He had the stats in Houston that were pretty solid first couple of years. He led the Texans to multiple playoff appearances, but not a lot of success. And ever since his arrival to Cleveland, it's almost like Cleveland said, okay, we're going to throw you a shit ton of money, but oh, by the way, it's going to be fully guaranteed. He said, thank you very much. And it's just all of the criticism that is going against Deshaun is valuable. And the fact that he thinks that I can throw my weight around, I can talk all this crap to these fans that haven't seen a lot of success in their lifetimes. I mean, just the late great Cleveland Browns players are rolling in their graves right now because all of this endless shit talking that Watson is doing him no favors. And now, whenever Cleveland does have their first home game of the regular year this year, you are going to see Cleveland's fan base show up to this game and they are going to absolutely give Deshaun Watson the medicine that he deserves. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, talking about away games and 17 away games. Like, dude, quit talking all this crap. You're not going to have, you can play it into your mind all day long and try to block out the noise. But I am telling you, when that Cleveland first home game on the 27th of 2026 against Carolina, I don't give a damn, even though it is going to be Carolina, it could have been the Jets, it could have been the Patriots, it could have been the Bengals, it could have been Baltimore, Pittsburgh, you name it. I don't care what team is showing up to that building. And even though it is Carolina on the 27th of September, you are going to see passionate Cleveland sports fans show up to that stadium and they are going to let Watson have it. And he deserves it because all of the endless trash talking that he has done is going to bite him. He is going to get annihilated in the Cleveland sports media for all of the talking that he's done, disrespecting Cleveland fans, and just arrogant. Just arrogant. A peon. Nothing to stand on. He has nothing to stand on that lends credibility to his statistics in the NFL. I mean, if I'm Cleveland, and I know they don't want to do this, but if I'm personally Cleveland and their ownership in the front office, I am cutting ties with Watson. But they're not going to do that. And Todd Monken, who is a rookie head coach, the former offensive coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens, ironically is joining an AFC North team as its head coach. And Cleveland this year is not going to have a great year. And if I'm his teammates, I'm boycotting. I'm not showing up. Because no fan base deserves to be talked down upon like that. It's just ridiculous how these ignorant, players that think they're the shit and it don't stink, they will come out there and just because they know, oh, I got a guaranteed contract, I can throw my weight around and say whatever I want, and nobody will punish me. He should be punished. But instead, the Cleveland Browns are rewarding mediocrity. They are giving him what he wants. It just goes to show you that not only in the music world, you can be worth a shit ton of money in music, and your music can still suck. Just like in sports. You could be worth a crap ton of money and produce nothing on the basketball court, the diamond in baseball, the hockey rink, the football field, the gridiron. Or you can be a golfer and get paid a lot of money. and still have nothing to show for it because you have proven nothing. And still you will be rewarded because, oh, you're bringing our team a lot of money. And like I said, if I'm Cleveland fans, I'm showing up on the 27th of September against the Carolina Panthers, and I am boycotting this game. I am going to speak my mind until something radical has to be done. Because Deshaun Watson's actions are going to come back to bite him where the sun doesn't shine. I mean, ever since these allegations have come out against him, he's not been the same. And it's amazing to even fathom that Cleveland still paid this guy when these allegations were out and about. And it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But what can you do? What can you do? The Cleveland Browns are going to do whatever the hell they want to do. It's a shame. It's a shame. You're paying this man this ridiculous contract that is worth every single penny. I mean, just look at his numbers in Cleveland. They're not good. His touchdown to interception ratio is not good. Not good. Not good at all. Just unbelievable that they just named him the starter. And again, look at the quarterback room. You got Shedeur Sanders. And even though he doesn't have the wins because obviously last year he was a rookie and he finally got his chance to start. But I would argue that Sanders has a better performance rate than Watson in the short amount of times he's been on the field. Because unlike Watson, at least Sanders is actually trying. Just, it's ridiculous. I mean, Cleveland, again, I feel bad for this fan base. All they know is bad luck. All they know is mediocrity. All they know is losing season after losing season. No matter what Cleveland has gone through with the Browns. I mean, it dates all the way back to the 80s with the infamous game against the Broncos. 2 games to be exact. The drive and the fumble. Those Cleveland teams of the 80s are long gone. Other than that, those teams and the team in 07 that made the playoffs and then Baker Mayfield's Cleveland Browns that made a run in the playoffs and that magical run in 2020 and that nearly upsetted the Kansas City Chiefs going to the AFC Championship game, which that would have been remarkable that happened, but obviously it didn't. But Cleveland that year had a hell of a run. But other than that, Cleveland's luck has always been bad, pretty much. And they've had so many head coaches. They've had so many quarterbacks. And Dylan Gabriel's another guy, on the roster who was given a shot last year to do something. Now, he wasn't great, but he went out there and he tried. Watson, it's almost like he just thinks, oh, I could just show up, get paid, and just suck. Come on, dude. Like, You have no awareness. None. You cannot determine what's going on the field. The O-line isn't great. And the fact that Cleveland this year alone, you can make the argument that Cleveland has experienced this year in the National Football League, has experienced one of the worst off seasons of any franchise. I mean, Myles Garrett, the best defensive player you have had in a very long time, and you're going to trade him to not just any team, but a title contender in the Los Angeles Rams? And then one of your best running backs, Nick Chubb, announces his retirement from professional football. And, I mean, that happens, not everybody, Father Time, obviously, as we always know, is undefeated. But you get my point. But still, Cleveland's offseason this year, arguably, will go down as one of the worst off seasons ever because they got nothing for Myles Garrett. Nothing. And they have a rookie, inexperienced head coach in Todd Monken who doesn't know what he's doing already off the gate. Right out of the gate. He experienced failure after failure with Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Mr. Monken, but you're going to experience the same fate in Cleveland with Deshaun Watson as long as he's your starting quarterback in that organization. And hell, I'm going on record and just saying this here, right now, at 7:21 Eastern Standard Time on August 25th, 2026, Deshaun Watson is going to have the worst regular season of any quarterback this year. And that is saying something. Why? Because the one thing I believe in most foremost, karma. Karma is going to bite Watson in the ass all year long. He will lead the league, in my opinion, in interceptions. And nobody can blame him but himself. He doesn't have no ounce of talent around him, really. Because Cleveland, again, has not acquitted him with said talent. Cleveland could have been like any other team in the offseason that made moves. But they didn't. At least the Patriots made moves. The Rams made moves. Kansas City made moves. The Giants made moves by getting John Harbaugh as their head coach. We'll get to those divisions here in a little bit. But, again, just reading our chat the other day, and the fact that Watson publicly went in front of the media and just annihilated the fan base. The fan base that no matter how awful their season has been, even when they went 0-16 in 2016-17, the fans still showed up. Because Cleveland sports fans, no matter how bad their team has been over this half century, for the most part, they show up all the time. Because Cleveland sports fans, no matter if it's the Guardians, formerly the Indians in baseball, the Cavaliers, and obviously the Browns, Cleveland sports fans are some of the most passionate bunch of sports fans ever. Right up there with Chicago, right up there with Boston, with the New York, New Jersey market, LA, Philadelphia, you name it. The fact that, unfortunately, this is happening, A, for one, it's not a surprise, and B, all of the garbage that was said will come into fruition. And whatever happens, happens. Simple as that. Deshaun Watson, like I said, at around 7:21 Eastern Standard Time today on this show, live and in color, he is going to have the worst regular season performance this year of any starting quarterback. And that's not a prediction, folks. That is a spoiler, as the great Paul Heyman would say. Now, getting to the matter at hand for today. The NFC conference. Last week, we did the NFC North and the NFC South. And tonight, it is the NFC East and the NFC West. And hopefully Ezra, Joey, and Kevin will be joining here sometime soon within the next hour and change of the show to give their thoughts on the NFC East and West. And I'll start off with the NFC East. And of course, the teams you got in that division is the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, the Washington Commanders, and the New York Giants. And I'll start from the bottom and go to the top because I mean this division is constantly up and down. We haven't really had a repeat winner in a very long time since the Philadelphia Eagles last did it during that remarkable run with Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb in the early 2000s. But I do want to start out with it's a toss-up. I'm going to say the Commanders are going to finish fourth. But the real question is, how is Jaden Daniels going to do this year? Because Jaden Daniels this year, coming into his third year as a professional starting quarterback in the NFL, experienced both effects in his first 2 years. The first year, amazing performances on Sunday Night Football, especially Monday Night Football against Cincinnati, and that incredible touchdown pass, giving the Commanders the lead in that game, battle testing, and going stride for stride with Joe Burrow at quarterback, hanging in there with the best of them. And of course, during that year, during the 24-25 campaign, you had the shocking upset by the Commanders against the Detroit Lions, the number 1 seed in the NFC, punching their ticket to the NFC Championship game that year against their arch rivals in the NFC East Division, the Philadelphia Eagles, ultimately losing to Philadelphia in one decisive blowout. But when you look at the grand scheme of things on coming into the next year, which was last year, Washington fans, including Joey himself, and a lot of us thought that we're not Washington fans, but football fans most and foremost, a lot of us thought that potentially Daniels and company could experience this same high. And they didn't. Injury-riddled season for the Commanders. I mean, McLaurin was out. Jaden Daniels was out a lot of the time. They had a lot of injuries that happened last year on both the offense and the defense. And it's going to be very fascinating to see this year, in year 3, as a professional starting quarterback, how will Jaden Daniels do with Washington this year? I would say at best, Washington could finish 9-8. But I think they're going to finish either 8-9 or 7-10. I think they'll get some crucial wins, and I think maybe they could potentially split the series with Dallas, maybe split the series with the Giants. Maybe Philly might win the two games against the Commanders. Who knows? But if the Commanders want a shot, they're going to have to either win both division games against their all of their conference rivals, or they're going to have to win two of those series, sweeping those said series against those either Eagles, Cowboys, or Giants, or all three, or Eagles, Cowboys, or Cowboys, Giants, or Giants, Eagles. You get my drift. But I think Washington, they'll have their upsides this year. I mean, they just got Stephon Diggs to stand alongside Terry McLaurin, and I think that is a great move by the Commanders a couple weeks ago, signing Stephon Diggs. That way, Scary Terry doesn't have to do all the damage on the outside. And that way, Stephon Diggs can help him at the wide receiver position. As far as third seed, I have the Giants. Now, this year is going to be very fascinating for the New York Football Giants because, again, in the offseason, the Giants made one of the most incredible acquisitions, no matter if it's player or head coach. They got John Harbaugh. And when you look at John Harbaugh's resume, several playoff appearances, made it to one Super Bowl with the Ravens, winning that said Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. Just endless success that he had with Baltimore, no matter if it was Joe Flacco at quarterback or Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Just John Harbaugh had a great run with the Ravens, made it to a couple of championship games along the way, had a shot at the Super Bowl going to it against the Chiefs a couple years ago, but Mahomes and company were too much for Lamar and company to overcome. And then last year, the last couple of years that Harbaugh had with Lamar Jackson and the King Derrick Henry at running back, one of the most deadly quarterback running back combinations we have ever seen in any sport as far as athletes pairing, but especially in the National Football League. And just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what what uh what took place, as far as those seasons. But the playoff resume does not unfortunately speak for itself. Because Harbaugh and the Ravens failed to get far in the playoffs a couple years ago, and they also failed last year to even make it. A couple years ago, they met the Buffalo Bills in that crazy game where Mark Andrews dropped the would-be tying two-point conversion. And last year, they failed to make the playoffs. So, and then obviously in the offseason, Harbaugh was dismissed by Baltimore. He was let go after 17 years with the team. And we said it on the show that Harbaugh was going to find work immediately. He was going to find work immediately. And we were not wrong. Because Harbaugh signed a multi-year deal to be the next head coach with the New York Giants. And it will be very interesting to see how this is going to go down. Because the fact that Harbaugh now has some very interesting young caliber players that have obviously talent. Cam Scatterboo at running back, Jackson Dart at quarterback. I mean, just a great, a pretty solid cast of players. And this could go either one or two ways for John Harbaugh and the New York Giants this year. Either they can exceed expectations and have an incredible run this year because Harbaugh brought a lot of the people over from Baltimore to the Giants. And it will be very interesting. It will be very interesting how this year's going to go for the Giants because, I mean, their first game is not going to be an easy one. On the 13th of September, they're going to be facing their arch nemesis in the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys. And that's obviously going to be a huge test for the Giants and Harbaugh in his first game in the regular year with the Giants. And the biggest question for me is the Giants last year did show some bright spots. They had that incredible victory against the Broncos. That's the one game that really stands out off the top of my head. But knowing how great John Harbaugh is as a head coach, it's going to be very interesting how he does in his first tenure with the Giants as their head coach, because just because you had success with the Ravens, that does not mean you're going to have success automatically, no matter where you go. Because obviously, in the world of college, Bill Belichick has not had a great start with the North Carolina Tar Heels as their football head coach. He has had a mediocre run and a mediocre start so far with that school. And I mean, again, it's not going to be easy for the Giants. I mean, you got the Cowboys in your conference, you got the Eagles in your conference. A lot of tough competition in your conference. And your division as well. But as far as records wise, that's tough. I'm going to say, as far as records go, I'm going to say the Giants at the most. I'm going to say that the Giants, they will finish at best 9-8, but I think they're going to finish 7-10. But even more at best, I say 10-7. That is if they can string together several victories in a row. So that's my thoughts on the Giants. Second, I'm going to say will be the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to have, I think, another great year for Prescott. Because when he is healthy, he's really good. He's got great receivers in CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. But it's going to be interesting to see how Pickens does this year because if I'm not mistaken, he is playing this year on a franchise tag. And it'll be interesting if Jerry Jones decides next year to renew his contract. And again, I mean, just the Cowboys are one of the most well-known and most recognizable franchises in sports, as we all know. And I think that the Cowboys this year are going to have a bounce back year from last year. I would say the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys this year. Now, the biggest thing for me, the underlining issue for me with the Cowboys is their defense. Their defense has not been great. Not been great. At all. Not been great. And their defense this year, I think, is going to be another reason why they're either going to win or they're going to lose. Because last year, their defense was the catalyst to them losing. Or, infamously last year, the famous super tie against the Green Bay Packers, which we still regard as one of the most hilarious ties in the NFL's history. The fact that the Packers almost lost that game when Love threw up that lame duck. I'm just going to throw it up, just whack, and just throw it up nonchalant, and the clock almost hit 0-0. And if it did, we would have laughed our asses off here on this show, on the next show after that game. But that obviously didn't happen. So the Cowboys last year, their defense really wasn't good. They were the reason why they lost a lot of games last year. And they could not stop the run. They could not stop the run. And again, I think the Cowboys this year, their offense is going to score a lot of points. Their offense is not the issue. It's their defense. They got great special teams. And Aubrey is one of the best place kickers in the NFL. A cannon for a leg. It's incredible how good he is. Prescott has come into his own as a quarterback. He's got weapons at the wide receiver position. Jake Ferguson at tight end. Really solid tight end. Obviously, Williams at running back for North Carolina. Great young runner. I like him a lot. But their defense, man, their defense has a lot to be desired. Their defense is going to be the reason why they either lose or win these games. And they're going to be the reason why they're going to make the playoffs or they're not. Their defense is either going to bend or it's going to break. I think that the Cowboys are going to have to string together several victories to remotely have a shot at making it to the playoffs. As far as records go for the Cowboys, I got Dallas. I'm going to say Dallas at 10-7 with a shot to make it in, or at best 11-6. And obviously that leaves lastly the Philadelphia Eagles. And this year for Philly is going to be a very different year because no longer will Jalen Hurts have A.J. Brown to throw to. A.J. Brown obviously now is with the Patriots. But he still has Devontae Smith. He still has Dallas Goedert. He still has Saquon Barkley. And when you just look at Philly, they have their defense, is pretty good. But their defense last year at times was good. And then they had some good games last year. But obviously, the worst thing about Philly last year was their offensive coordinator. Their offensive coordinator was one of the worst play callers this past year. One of the worst. And when you look at Philly last year, how they did last year, they had games where they thought, oh, we can just make the playoffs and, just all it's going to be right with the team. But obviously that didn't happen. What's up, brother? What's up, Biz?
Hey, you got me?
Yep, I got you, man.
What's going on, people of the sports world? Good to talk to you all again.
You got power or no power still?
Oh, I've had power since the other day when I texted you, so.
Good.
There's still no internet yet. We're waiting on Frontier to get their fucking asses together and get down here and fix the line. Once they're able to, then I'll be able to be back on camera and everything. But right now I have to deal with the phone situation. So let's I know we got a packed show today, so let's get into it.
Well, so far you sound clear and good. So I was just talking about the divisions in the NFC East just now. But before we get to that, I want you to give me your thoughts on the Deshaun Watson situation, because I talked about this for 25 minutes because this needed to be addressed. And just the endless shit talking that Watson did to the media is ridiculous following his abysmal performance in the previous preseason game. And when you look at his statistics overall with Cleveland are not good in 19 starts.
I saw a video of him at practice, and he threw to his favorite target at practice. Nobody. He literally chucked the ball up, threw it up there, and landed in a field where there was not a single receiver there to catch it. It just went nowhere. It literally went up, went down, bounced off the field, and out of bounds. It's right on par for Deshaun. Let me tell you, dude. This dude is a Class A fucking garbage quarterback. I'm sorry, but that spot should have went to Shedeur Sanders. And look, Shedeur, as much as we gave him shit last year, some of his performances, he's still better than Deshaun Watson. Watson thinks he's got this. He thinks he's a top tier quarterback in the league when he's at the bottom of the barrel with the likes of Kyler Murray. Turn the ball over. Give me a fucking break. I mean, seriously, but I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm just going to say that the Browns don't know what they're doing. They have no damn clue. I mean, they've been on a tear of just bad luck from them choosing Deshaun over that, which is a dumb situation. Then you lost your starting tight end, your defensive end, your rusher, basically the guy who's going to replace Myles Garrett for the remainder of the season.
They also lost Nick Chubb to retirement.
Yeah, they also lost Nick Chubb to retirement. I mean, how much more dumb shit can happen? I mean, yes, there's been other players that have been injured. I mean, throughout the league. I mean, Jamar Chase went down earlier today for, I believe it was Cincinnati, right? Or is he Cleveland?
Yeah. So I was talking about finishing up my thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles. And when you look at the Eagles last year, their defense had their stretches where they were solid. And then they had their stretches where they let the team down. But the biggest problem to Philadelphia last year was the offensive coordinator, just Patulu, Kevin Patulu. This guy could not coach his way out of a wet paper bag. And Nick Sirianni went to back up Patulu all the time. And just how can you back mediocrity? It's like Cleveland again. Because Deshaun Watson was so bad, they're going to keep rewarding him by giving him constant starts in Cleveland. But back to Philly. Patulu last year was one of the reasons why their offense got stagnated and so, predictable. And that's what led to their downfall in the postseason against San Francisco.
That's also what led to them getting stomped by Chicago early in the season as well.
That's true. Monangai and DeAndre Swift, they ran all over that Philly defense. Made them look like it was nothing because that offensive line imposed their will and made them look like a bunch of boys out there on the field. So I think Philly this year, despite not having A.J. Brown, they do have Devontae Smith. They do still have Saquon Barkley. They do have, obviously, Dallas Goedert at tight end. But when you look at what they have talent at some of the key positions. Their O-line's going to be critical. Can they block for Saquon? Can they block for Hurts? Because Saquon Barkley last year compared to 2 years ago had one of the greatest single seasons for running backs in NFL history. Over 2,000 scrimmage yards. And last year, nowhere near those numbers. I think Philly is going to win the division, and I'm going to turn it over to you to give your NFC East thoughts. I think Philly is going to win the division by default. I'm going to say 10-7 is the record, but at best 11-6. Now, what are your thoughts on the NFC East from the bottom to the top?
Let's see here. As far as the NFC East goes, let me see
here. To bring you up to speed, my list was from the bottom up. Washington at 4, the Giants at 3, Cowboys at 2, Eagles at 1.
Okay, so hold on one second. I do want to say real quick that one upgrade I did make was, since I don't have Frontier Internet, which I don't have TV now because of that bullshit, I have now a TV antenna in my room, and thankfully it gets in CW, so I will be throwing it on NXT in just a few. But the NFCs, what were the teams again? I'm sorry, Steven, my internet's actually...
Oh no, you're good. I have the Commanders at 4, the Giants at 3, the Cowboys at 2, and the Eagles at 1.
You know what? That's the exact same list, and I'm going to give my reasons why. Commanders, as they made some smart moves. They got some good draft picks. They did some great signings, including getting Stephon Diggs. I think this is a step forward in the right direction for them. Jaden Daniels needs to remain healthy, and he needs to remain on the field. All of his weapons need to do the same. Stephon Diggs has got to keep himself out of baby mama trouble. That's been his biggest gripe. That and the domestic violence allegations and other assault allegations he's had over the past few years. He needs to keep all that in check, and he needs to really just focus on his game instead of worrying about outside factors.
Right.
But I think they're going to be last. Number 3, I do have a Giant.
Do you have a record in mind?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think they could go... What was your record for them?
I said at best, 8-9, but at worst, 7-10.
I'm gonna go with the 8 or 9, at worst 6-10, because
Oh,
I think
okay.
if Jada gets hurt, they're gonna lose a couple of critical games down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, as much as they have sometimes they're good backups, without Jaden on the field, I think that they're way less of a team than what they were, and they could lose those extra 2 games if possible, if Jada goes down, or they lose Diggs, or they lose any of their other scary Terry McLaurin, they lose him again. It's going to be a rough stretch.
Yeah.
At number 3, I have same thing, New York Football Giants. They have a lot to make up for, especially when it came to injuries. Jackson Dart, I know, has had multiple back-to-back concussions. He's going to be coming off that. He's going to be coming off a lot of he's going to be coming off some criticism.
Mm-hmm. And Cam Scadaboo's coming off the torn ACL.
We're going to see how gun-shy he is, if he's going to be that way, or if he's going to come out the same Cam Scadaboo that we've always known him to be. That's a really good question, and this will be a true test for him as a player. Obviously, there's been a lot of other issues going on, but look, New York, I give them a fighting chance.
Now, are you saying this because John Harbaugh is now the new head coach?
Yes, because of John Harbaugh. I think John Harbaugh has a chance to help turn this franchise around. Brian Daboll is out of the picture. He's not there anymore. Mm-hmm. And as much as Daboll is respected, I don't think he was the fit for that team. And I think Harbaugh, with his leadership and his ability to manage these players, I think he's going to turn Jackson Dart into a more, not going to say complete, but a better overall quarterback. I think he's going to make him think smarter. I think he's going to make him, when it comes to running the ball, we've seen how reckless he can be sometimes when he runs the ball. Hence why the injuries and the concussions piled up. I think he'll make him be smarter about his running choices. I think make him be a little more confident about who he can throw to, especially having one of his weapons, Scadaboo, back, like we said earlier. Their record, I can see them going possibly 9-8. I think that's the highest and the lowest I could see them going. Maybe I could see them maybe pulling a 10-7.
That's what possibly. I said, 10-7 if they exceed expectations.
Yeah, and I think they have a chance to. It's just a matter of, can he put all the pieces together and make it fit right for this team. Number 2, obviously, I have Dallas. Dallas, to me, out of the other 3 on the bottom, the other 2 on the bottom, is a more complete team. You have Dak Prescott, who, when he's consistent, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We can make fun of him all we want. The guy has got throwing ability. The guy has got running ability. He's got all the tools to be a great quarterback. He just has to think better and be more consistent. That's the thing. He's going to have CD Lamb back. He's going to have, I don't know, I think Pickens is gone, right?
Say that again? Sorry.
I say Pickens is gone, right?
No, he's still there. Franchise tag.
Okay, well, Pickens will be with him. CD Lamb will be with Dak. And I think when you have weapons like that, I think the defense has gotten a little better. Now, was it better than in his last season? Yes. But is it going to be something like out of the ordinary? No. I think they're still going to have their struggles on defense, but I still think they're going to outplay the Commanders and the Giants. Now, for them, I give them a record of probably of 11-2 or 11-6. 11-6. I mean, they could reach a 12-5 if they play their cards right. I just don't know. It's gonna be up to them, and of course the coaching of Schottmeyer to make it happen.
Real quick, I do want to bring up on the Giants this year. It is also notable for this year. It is the return for the G-Man of Odell Beckham Jr. to the team.
I just don't know, because with Odell, he's so far past his prime years. I don't know how he's going to play. That's my biggest. That's another concern. Is you sign Odell back to the franchise where he started, but the issue is it gonna? We're not gonna see the Odell Beckham Jr. old, but can we see 65, 70, 75%, 80% of the original OBJ that made those spectacular passes for the New York Football Giants?
Also, how will Malik Neighbors do? Because he has experienced a lot of ups and downs during the year last year with the torn ACL and in the off year with having to fix his ACL on multiple occasions.
Yeah, he's got the nagging ACL tear, and, that's been bothersome even post-surgery. And I don't know how he's going to play, if he's going to split minutes. I don't know what's going to happen. I think really he needs to take it easy the first couple of games and see where he's at. If he goes full bore into it, I think he will get injured again. I'm not saying that I want him to. I'm just saying that's a high possibility with an athlete who's already having so many complications with an ACL tear that it's just been repaired. And it's kind of similar to RG3 with his knee issues. And you don't want to push a player like that too hard to where they tear it, and this time it's career ending.
And Kevin will be joining us here shortly at the top of the hour, or past the top of the hour, or a little after. But getting back to Dallas, my biggest critique of Dallas this year is their defense. How will their defense be this year? Because their defense last year was a lot of the reasons why they did not win a lot of games last year. Because their defense last year failed to stop the run.
Yeah,
they couldn't defend.
That's one. No, they could. They had a big issue with that. And I don't know. It's going to be up to the defense to see how they play. I'm hoping they play better for Dallas' sake because they're going to need it. But it's going to be up to them to figure it out. But at number one, as you said, I have the Eagles. The Eagles still have a great offense. Like you said, Dallas Goedert. You still got Saquon Barkley. You still got, you said his name earlier. Now I'm blanking already.
Saquon Barkley?
No, I said Saquon. I said Goddard. Oh, damn.
Hurts.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith. They got still some great weapons. And then on defense, I mean, you got Blankenship. You've got
Zach Vaughn.
Yeah, you also have the guy who's dating Nikki Bella. Can't remember his name. It escapes me at the moment, but they still have a great defense. They have some great big bodies on that. And Philly has a chance to win it, but like you said, all that the Eagles organization, and especially Sirianni, has been doing has been rewarding mediocrity with Kevin Patullo, who's now, I believe, is out, right? Or is he still there?
Yep.
Oh, he's out?
Who's out? Sorry.
Kevin Patullo.
He's definitely out. He is out.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure my memory's a little shot.
Yeah. Patullo, yeah. Kevin's out. He is out of there. He's history. He is history.
I've had no power for almost 13 fucking days and have no internet for 2 weeks. I mean, my memory's a little out the window here.
And I'm trying to multitask and stuff, and yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, I think the Eagles have a high chance record. As far as the record goes with them, I think they have a chance of hitting 13-4. I think that's going to be their best record. They could do it 14-3, but I just don't know. I don't know because this Eagles offense, while great, their defense has been very, as we saw last year, lax and inconsistent at times. We saw that in the game in Chicago. They couldn't stop Monongai. They couldn't stop Swift, and they ran for over 220 yards total between the two of them. Caleb Williams made it look so easy against Philadelphia's defense. And it was one of the premier games that solidified the Bears as a true threat in the NFL again after being mocked for so long because of the Rex Grossmans, the Kyle Ortons, the Jay Cutlers of the world, the Haney, the Chase Daniels, those guys. And it's amazing. But I think Philly has a chance to win this. I think they could possibly pop a 14-3. I think their best record is going to be 13-4.
All righty then. So now moving on to the NFC West. And of course, this division will be 3 out of the 4 teams that will be ultra competitive. I mean, you got the defending champs, the Seahawks, you got the Rams, you got the Niners, and then you got the Cardinals. I mean, it's
okay. So hold on. You said Seahawks.
Yep.
The Seahawks, Rams.
Yep.
Cardinals.
Yep.
And then Niners.
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to type it in my notes so I have it ready. That way I don't have to keep asking you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll get it.
You want to get things started?
Sure thing. Since you stole the thunder away from me while I wasn't on this time, I'll let it pass. I'm in a good mood since I got my power back. I'll let it pass. So let's get it. Whereas MLJ would say, "Fuck yeah, let's get it." Cardinals are dead last. I mean, come on.
Obviously.
I mean, that's about as obvious as Triple H's big nose. But Cardinals are just, I mean, come on. They've had so many plagued issues, whether it be injuries, whether it be the quarterback situation, obviously. Now they got Jacoby Brissett. And while Jacoby Brissett is great, he's a good player, a good quarterback, he's nowhere. I don't think he's going to be anybody that's going to change the fortunes of the Cardinals for, the overall rate. I think there's a chance that they could make some noise, but nothing to where it's like life changing. So I have them down as a fuck. I don't have them as bad as like the Jets or anybody else in the AFC or anybody else in NFC. I have them at least a 5-11. That's where I have them at. And that's me being modest. Next. Oh, man, these next 3 are tough, dude. Why did you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? You put me through this torture. Whether it's one of you epic Steven rants about Booker or whether it's freaking this type of situation I'm in. Sir, I owe you a couple of sirs for not being on for 2 weeks. So there you go. Shit. Oh, my God. If I pick the Niners in 3rd place, Kevin will fucking read me a new asshole. But, oh, my God. It's tough to say. I am going to go with this sounds crazy. I am going to go to Niners in 3rd, only one reason. The Niners are great. Don't get me wrong. The Niners have very much improved. George Kittle is back. He's going to be ready to go. That is one of the biggest things that they're going to have back is the return of JK or GK. The guy who has Cerro Miedo. Look, they have all the weapons. Brock Purdy's healthy. Christian McCaffrey's finally got somebody to get the pressure off of him. That man's name is the returning Deebo Samuel. And to have him back with that team, I think is unbelievably perfect fit. Now, this is where it gets, their defense has been known to be crazy good. And they still are. I think the Niners could finish with a record of 11. I can see the fishing with a record of 12-5 at the least. 13-4.
Ooh. Wow.
I still say it's gonna be 11-6, but they have a possibility of winning this division. That's how close it's gonna be
Now,
the other three.
real quick, here's also the craziest thing too, is we potentially could see these three teams have top records. That's the craziest thing to even fathom, is that potentially, even though San Francisco could be 12 and could be third place in this division, they can still be 12-5.
I mean, look at what you're saying. Look at what you're saying, Steven. Look at this. You have the Niners, who have been to the mountaintop in the past, many decades ago, but yes, they've been in the mountaintop with Jerry Rice, with some of the greatest players to ever lace up a pair of cleats. You have the Rams that have done so much great work to rebuild this franchise in LA, bringing in Matt Stafford, getting guys like Puka Nacua. I mean, just insanity.
Devontae Adams and
Devontae Adams, getting him from Green Bay was one of the biggest momentum shifts.
And getting him out of the hell that is the Raiders. Because when he was with the Raiders, he did not want to be there.
And I'm glad that they got him, because now he's a weapon of choice. But I mean, you have the defending champion who, yes, they lost Kobe Bryant on defense. Yes, they lost Kenneth Walker. They've still got Zach Charbonnet who's coming back healthy. They've still got so many weapons. And you got Sam Darnold, who's got a renewed confidence and a renewed vigor about him that we have not seen since his days when he was playing with Minnesota. I mean, seriously, you've got to do teams that could literally slice and dice.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, and what a reference to his San Francisco 49ers with that crazy story the other day. K-Rod, Kevin Orr, what's up, pal?
What's going on, fellas? This is Jed York's burner account, and this is a prostitution sting.
Yep, and Eddie, and if you guys want to continue this show, it will cost you $160
of some explicity stuff for an hour in a trailer park somewhere in the fucking cut of Ohio.
Viewer discretion is advised. Anyways, so
sounds like an episode of On Patrol Live I watched last week.
I'm sure. The fucking idiots that I'm not drunk. Come bullshit. Anyways. So to bring you up to speed, Kev, so we've been talking about the NFC East and West, but we'll throw you in the NFC West conversation to get you started on that. So continue with your thoughts on the West.
Yeah, I had all right. So I had of course the Cardinals sorry asses at last. And the final three, Kevin, was the toughest fucking order I could ever come up with.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I put the Niners at 3. I could have put them at fucking 2. I could have easily put them at 2, just because of how we know what we're expecting with return of Kittle, with Debo joining the team, with fully healthy stacked defense. I mean, come on. I mean, we're talking about a team that could take all the other two teams down and stack their bodies like Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I mean, come on. This is I put them at 3 only just because it's so tough of a choice, and I have them at winning possibly at 12-5 or 13-4 as their fucking top record. That's insane. And then you have the Rams. Coming up at 2. Like I said, who are, this franchise has been rebuilt with Matt Stafford, with Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. They have a great offensive defense. Both, I think they will tie with your Niners, and it'll come down to a tiebreaker.
Okay.
Right now, I have the Rams sitting up top, but I wouldn't mind if the Niners took them out. It wouldn't have mattered to me. And then, of course, I have the Seahawks in 1, the defending champs. I mean, I could talk about them all day, but, I mean, yes, they lost some big-time weapons, losing Kobe Bryant, losing Kenneth Walker, but they still have some great players. Still got Charbonnet. They got Still a massive, great defense. I mean, just absolute monsters. It's gonna be insane. But that's my order. It's gonna be the Cardinals, Niners, Rams, Seahawks.
Kev, you want to go next?
Yeah. Well, I think everybody's undisputed on the fourth place team because I mean this is like the New York Jets of the West. It's the Arizona Jets. That's what I call them. Cardinals ain't beating nobody. Matter of fact, that's a punching bag for the other three NFC West teams this season. I got the Cardinals finishing last. They'll be lucky to win 3 games. The only way I could see them winning a couple is if they have something in Carson Beck. If he somehow like strikes lightning in the bottle, they still won't win more than 5 games, even if Carson Beck looks like the next Matt Stafford or some shit. So I don't see it. Give me the Cardinals at number 4. And you're right. I get it. I get why everybody would say the Niners at 3. And I mean, yes, they're older. Injuries are a question. When that comes in effect, you don't know. I know that their ceiling is NFC West champs and is representing the NFC West, but it's so stacked that a couple of key injuries to like Mike Evans or George Kittle or Brock Purdy could be the difference of ending 13-4 and ending 12-5 or 11-6. So, but here's my thing. I'm actually going to pick Seattle at 3. And the reason why I said that
Ooh.
is Seattle had a lot of departures on this defense. And the way they won last year was Sam Darnold balled out his freaking mind. No disrespect to Sammy D, but I don't know if you can trust Sam Darnold. Just like you can't trust the Niners' injuries. I don't really still trust Sam Darnold. He's had a resurgence. Do not get me wrong, but he had 0 turnovers the entire playoffs last year. How many times is he going to do that? Like that was like he played the perfect football at the perfect time in the perfect situation. I don't know if you can't play better than that. So honestly, you can't get better. And the reason why Seattle beat the likes of San Francisco and beat the likes of the Rams is because of 2 reasons. They beat San Francisco with defense. San Francisco didn't have any downfield weapons to guard this team, and the they didn't have no weapons downfield to push their defense. And then the Rams, obviously, but now here's what I'm saying. The Niners do now. You got Mike Evans, if he's healthy. That's a downfield threat. You got to respect the Hall of Famer. You got Dazon Striblin, who's looking like the best wide receiver in the draft class coming in. You got Debo that's still pushing. You got a healthy George Kittle this time around. You got a healthy Fred Warner for that Sam Darnold and that offense to deal with. So they fixed their problem and closed that gap. And the same way with the Rams. Why couldn't the Rams beat the Seahawks? Because of their defense. They went out and traded for Trent McDuffie, an all-pro corner. They went out and traded for Myles Garrett, who might be the best fucking defensive player we've seen since Aaron Donald, who, by the way, Aaron Donald is threatening to come back. So the Rams, if they would have made a stop on Seattle, they would be NFC champs and would have been in the Super Bowl. That's why I think with all the adjustments that the Niners and the Rams have made, that's why I got Seattle third. But I'm not disrespecting them. I still think that's a solid 12-13 win ball team. And honestly, if they win the West, I'm not even surprised. I'm not going to say, darn, they got lucky. I'm just going to say, hey, good game. Y'all balled because they have the potential to repeat as champions. That's how much I respect how that team is built. And I respect Mike McDonald, who has give Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan fits. So, I mean, I'm going to pick Seattle at third. And I'm going to say they finish, I'm going to say 13-4. I just, I think they finished 13-4. Second, I'm gonna go with the Niners. I mean, just like we said, they could win the West. I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Yep, I'm shocked they won the West," but also know injuries are a concern. For we have some of the worst fucking nonsense I've ever seen. Every day it's some fucking nonsense, whether it's with Brandon Ayuk or the fucking owner trying to pick up prostitutes like he's Robert Kraft in the 2000s. I don't know. It's something every day. And I'm like, can we please just have an off season? For years, the 49ers have quarterback and kicker drama. Y'all know this. Jake Moody, god damn. For the first time ever, we don't have a quarterback controversy. We have an all-pro court. We have a Pro Bowl quarterback. We have Brock Purdy, who is a very great football player. We have Eddie Pinheiro, who once he left Chicago and Carolina, he rejuvenated his career, and he has been a very clutch kicker
Especially
last
Carolina,
year.
because he was doinking kicks in Carolina, but I
Exactly,
digress.
but look what he did in San Francisco last year. He
Yup.
almost kicked a 66-yarder that was just an inch short of being
Yup.
good in the Rams game. I'm like, that is insane. Like, he has
Yep.
been clutch for the 49ers. So
Yep.
what do the 49ers do because they don't have no kicker controversy or quarterback controversy? Here, hold my beer. We're about to have an owner controversy or a Brandon Ayuk controversy on Instagram. Fuck it. So with that being said, I got the Niners finishing with the exact same record as the Seahawks, 13-4. I think the key difference is at the end of the stretch. Mike Evans is going to make one more play to get the 49ers like they did in that week 1 game last year. Like, they're going to make a clutch play to end the game to win it, and it's going to come down to Mike Evans or Fred Warner getting a stop. Now, number 1, I got the Rams, and they honestly should, on paper, they should walk everybody down. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. But the same way with the Niners, you could say about the Rams. Matt Stafford, just like we said about Sam Darnold, how better is Matt Stafford going to play than he did last year? I don't think Matt Stafford in his career had a career like he did last year. I mean, this is your MVP. He did this, but is he really going to play that same level this year? We don't know. I mean, I don't think he could play much better. He played perfect. I mean, the key is going to be that defense. Getting Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie, that's going to be clutch. That's going to be the X factor for the Rams. Not Puka, who is by the way not healthy right now. And I mean, the offense is going to be good. You know what you're going to get. But what if? And I would never predict or hope an injury on nobody. What if Stafford gets hurt? Are they still going to beat the 49ers and the Rams with their backup or the Seahawks with their backup quarterback? I don't think so. Me personally, they'll still beat the Cardinals. I think they could put Deshaun Watson out there at quarterback and still beat the Cardinals. Yeah, I had to throw
Oh
that in
Lord.
there. But no, I really think, but I'm not banking on that because Stafford's relatively been healthy. So I think he's going to play decently well. I don't think he played as good as last year. But like I said, that is where having Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie's going to come in. I don't think they're going to put up 40 points a game like they did last year. I think they're going to lower that, but I also think their defense is going to make some stops this year. I mean, Myles Garrett's going to get in the passing lanes. I mean, Trent McDuffie's going to get some picks and shut down some receivers. So I got the Rams finishing 14-3 and the number 1 team in the whole NFC, as well as the NFC West.
Yeah.
And real quick before Steven gets going, it was announced earlier today that playing the halftime show for the Seahawks Patriots game on September 9th will be Taylor Monson with a Pretty Reckless and the surviving members of Soundgarden.
Very cool.
Yep, Mike McCready, Matt Cameron, Kim Thale, and Taylor Monson will be performing Soundgarden songs during the Seattle game at home against the Patriots in the Super Bowl rematch.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So I'll go through my list real quick again from top to bottom. 3-1 are going to be so difficult, but number 4 is going to be Arizona. They're not. I don't think they're going to be good. Like Kevin said, I mean, Brissett, he's okay, but he's not great. Like they better hope that Carson Beck, gets to start, and shines, because if he performs like he did in the preseason game against the Panthers, then his ceiling's gonna be. Um, I think Arizona probably, like Kevin said, I give them 3 wins. I don't think they're gonna be that good this year. But give me, man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with the Niners at 3, but like Ezra and Kevin have said with their records, I'm gonna give San Francisco a really good record this year. I think San Francisco easily can be at best 12-5, or even better, 13-4. I have, let's see, I have the Seahawks at 2, Again, same situation. 12-5, 13-4 is just going to come down the tiebreakers, and one I got the Rams. Same thing. 12-5, 13-4. Just kind of based off tiebreakers. It's tough. Those first three are so tough to predict. But what I want to talk about with you, Kevin, you talked about this last week. Dude, what the hell is going on in Cleveland? Because this bullshit that has been going on with Deshaun Watson since he was signed to that stupid ass contract in March of 2022 is ridiculous. How this idiot is constantly getting try after try with, being the starting quarterback, and he sucks.
Honestly, me personally, I think it's the Cleveland Browns front office and ownership can't suck up their pride and are literally like, well, we paid you this amount of money, so we're just going to keep sticking you in there.
Kevin, real quick, they paid him $230 million guaranteed.
Sometimes it's better to swallow your pride, suck it up, move on, and deal with it. Hence the Miami Dolphins, who just paid Tua a shit ton of money and just bit the bullet when they said, oh, no, he's chopped liver. Get him out of here. Fuck it. He sucks. And they bit the bullet and swallowed it and got it over with. The Browns, however, can't do that because let's call a spade a spade. Shadur Sanders ain't no mountain mover. He's not the needle mover, as Roman Reigns says. He's not going to move the needle. He's not that good, but he's still better than Deshaun Watson. Matter of fact, Deshaun Watson ain't even a bottom 32 quarterback in the league. Right now, he might be a bottom 50. I can name backups better than Deshaun Watson. Mac Jones is better than Deshaun Watson in San Francisco. Jameis Winston in New York is better than Deshaun Watson. I mean, should I keep going? Hell, Carson Beck in Arizona might be better than Deshaun Watson. Ty Simpson, the backup for the Rams, is better than Deshaun Watson. I mean, really. And I mean, really. Andy Dalton in Carolina is better than Deshaun Watson. I mean, and here's the thing for the Browns. They got 2 first-round picks this year in a good quarterback class. So common sense would tell you that fuck the Deshaun Watson bullshit. Let's start Shadur Sanders and see what we got. If he ain't it, then we know to draft the quarterback. But if he is, oh dear God.
And right on cue, Joey with one of the best names on this show's history. Joey, your ears must have been buzzing and ringing because that's what the hell we're talking about. I know you want to jump into this conversation.
You better fucking believe I do.
keep going, Kev.
I mean, it's just ridiculous because common sense would tell you that you need to start Shadur Sanders all year and see what you got. Because guess what? If Shadur develops and becomes good overnight, somehow miraculously, then you don't need to draft you don't need to draft a quarterback. And guess what? That's 2 first-round picks that you can spend on the D line or a wide receiver or offensive line or something else. But you don't know what you got because you're sitting there starting a worthless, hopeless talent in Deshaun Watson who cares more about happy endings in a massage parlor than he does the fans in Cleveland, or he wouldn't talk shit about his own fans. And you know what? Don't give me this shit about, oh, they boo me because it's personal. I don't care. They got every right to boo you. And if you don't think it's performance related, they can boo you for either, and they're okay with. Dude, you're a sexual predator. They're booing you because of that. We know that. But you can't act like you're out there putting up Patrick Mahomes' numbers either. Dude, you had 19 games, and in all 19 games, Geno Smith has outplayed you for crying out loud. That is why they're booing you for both reasons. You suck on the field, and you want to get sucked off the field. So, I mean, this is why you get booed. I mean, they have every right to boo you.
And Kevin, what did he say? He said something to the effect of about, like 17 away games or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
And you know what? Dan Orlovsky brought up a good point on ESPN, and I love Dan O. He said, you know what? If I'm a Browns fan, I would boycott this stupid ass ownership.
And I said the same thing.
I would not go to the games. Fuck it. I bet you then the ownership they'll retract that bullshit about starting Deshaun Watson once they realize the fans are hurting their pockets and not selling out these games. I wouldn't go to
Oh,
a
and by the
Browns
way,
home
Kev,
game.
real quick, the first home game for Cleveland is on September 27th against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah,
So
week
if I'm
3.
Cleveland fans in week 3, don't show up. Show up to the stadium. Protest. Do whatever the hell you got to
No,
do.
I wouldn't do it. And honestly, Deshaun Watson might not even last week 3 for crying out loud. I'm like,
No, it's terrible. And I talked about this for 25 minutes, and I said the same at the start of the show, and I said the same thing that you just said. Boycott. It's
literally.
ridiculous what he's
I
putting
mean,
his fan base through. All the heartbreak and the mediocrity this franchise has gone through for nearly half a century.
they deserve better, man.
They do deserve
And
better.
then his dumbass front office thinks, and this is why I'll never forgive him. For one, they send him to the Rams. But Myles Garrett, the one good fucking thing, the Bugatti in the trailer park meme, that is literally Myles Garrett. And you have one good generational player and you just give him away?
For
What
nothing.
are you doing, dude? Like, I mean, I know disrespect to Jared Verse. He's not Max Crosby. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not Aaron Donald. What are you doing? Like, why are we doing this? You don't pay nobody on that team. I mean, the worst you could do is overpay Myles Garrett because he's earned it and stuck with his dumbass organization for that long. I mean, and you get rid of him for nothing. I mean, I know some Cleveland Brown fans, and I shake my head. I don't even troll them no more. Like, it's not even fun to talk like goof and joke like I do with the Cowboy fans or this. It's not even fun because they are literally miserable, and I can't even be mad at them. It's that sorry ass ownership, and I mean, I just. I don't know. There's no way you can sit there and tell me Deshaun Watson has outplayed Shadur Sanders because I watched it
No
Saturday
way.
against the
No
Bills when
way.
he absolutely looked like hot garbage, and Shadur
And
Sanders
Kev,
was decent garbage.
and
And
Kev,
oh, he earned
think
it.
and think about this too, Kev. Last year when Shador did get the start, the some bitch was out there on the field actually giving a shit and actually trying. Like he was putting up some pretty good numbers.
Yep.
Now he did
And
throw some picks in a couple of games, but
but
at least he was actually trying.
and that's where my problem lies. Deshaun Watson just acts like he could care less.
And
He
Dylan
got the money.
Gabriel, he
He
was
has
on the
no
field.
effort.
And
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel was on the field. He wasn't great, but at least he was trying.
And that's where my problem lies. Deshaun Watson's not even trying. He knows he sucks, and he's like, "Fuck it, I got paid. I don't care." While Shadur is like, "Yeah, I'm trying to build. I'm trying to just get better every day. I'm trying. Not good, but I'm trying, and I can respect that." Now the shit Deshaun Watson does, I can't respect, dude. I mean, he's hot garbage. He's ass. He's ass with all capital letters. He's ass. I mean, I. When they ask him how ass is he, they're going to show the meme of Rikishi doing the stink face on somebody. That's how much ass he is. Like
I did it for the fans.
I just,
Or Jada Parker on NXT right now. Let's just say that much.
Miss Parker.
that's fair too. But no, it's ridiculous, dude. I feel bad for those fans. The Cleveland Browns fans deserve better. I will not troll them for this upcoming season, but I will clown Deshaun Watson. Don't get me wrong. Just like the rest of the fan base, I'm going to be laughing in unity with the Cleveland Browns fans clowning Deshaun Watson because this guy is ass. Everybody's talking about, oh, they only boo you. Bro, your performance only amplifies the boos. They boo you for both. Now,
Look
honestly,
at Philadelphia fans.
there are some fans that would not boo if you were any good at football because they would sweep that under the rug. Even though they shouldn't, they would sweep that under the rug if you made up for it on the field. But guess what? You don't. Did you see Michael Vick after he got in that trouble with that dog fighting ring? Did you see when he came back in the league, people booing him because they thought he's a shitty person? No, you know why? Because he still played good. He still had talent. He actually realized that he done something wrong and said, "My fault. I made a mistake. I'm back."
In his second year with
He
Philadelphia,
got a second chance.
he
And
got
lit
a
it up.
second chance with Philly, and in his second year with the Eagles, he had one of the greatest seasons for a comeback player in NFL history.
And nobody booed him for his off the field issues. It's because the guy took accountability, something Deshaun Watson knows nothing of. I mean, Mike Vick took accountability and said, "I was wrong. I fucked up. Let me learn from it, serve my time, come back, reapply, and try to build my way back up." And that's exactly what he did. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson, oh, I got 30 lawsuits. I ain't done nothing wrong. I don't know what the issue is. I'm a sexual predator, but nobody knows that. Nobody, I don't care. No, dude. I mean,
Him and him
poor
and
Brown
what
fans.
him and Justin Tucker need to join hands and admit that they're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, maybe they can give each other massages. Bunch of hobos.
I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, this whole Watson saga is just ridiculous. Now, Joey, I know you want to jump in here, so jump in here real quick.
You know, I gotta say real fast, if I'm Kevin Stefanski right now, I am thanking my lucky freaking stars that I booked a one-way ticket out of Cleveland. Because as good as a defensive-minded coach as Stefanski is, he was not wanting to stay for this absolute train wreck. And quite honestly, I don't blame him. Because this Browns team is going to be, I mean, golly, you could pull a bunch of freaking hobos off the street, teach them how to play football for 2 hours straight, and they'll go out there and beat the Cleveland Browns because the Cleveland Browns are going to be the worst team in the NFL. Not just the AFC, but the entire freaking NFL. Hell, we may see the first 0-17 season by an NFL team since this new 17-game schedule first popped out. And if I'm LeBron, I am also thanking my lucky stars that I did not sign with Cleveland because, I mean, think of all the
Oh, we're going to
atrocities.
get to that after Joey gives us NFC West things.
Think of all the atrocities that Cleveland has put themselves through over the past few weeks. Okay, you get your butts tore up in the Eastern Conference Finals by the Knicks. You have the Cleveland Indians, or Cleveland Guardians, I should say, who were in first place in the AL Central, tied with the White Sox going into the All-Star break. But now they fucking sucked ever since the All-Star break. And then you have a statue of a defensive player in James freaking Harden, who you signed for another 3 years, who cannot play fucking defense to save his freaking life. And then, to make matters worse, you trade your best defensive player that you've ever had in the history of Cleveland sports for a first rounder, a second rounder, a third rounder, and Jared Verse. That is literally a bag of chips. That is a bag of chips and a pile of dog crap that you traded Myles Garrett for.
Yeah, well, the dog crap is the first round pick because if the Rams win the championship like they're favored to, that's a 32nd overall pick. That's a second round pick essentially. Also, I will say this real quick. There is a legit reason why all of Cleveland fans suck, or Cleveland sports is awful right now, and we all seen the clip. Danhausen, who basically recursed the city of Cleveland because it was the Miz's hometown. I will not let that video die out. That was made, 4 months ago of him cursing Cleveland. The entire city of Cleveland said, oh, the Browns? No, they're still cursed. That's the Mrs. City.
Yeah, and then to top it all off, you name a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this year who has the audacity and the fucking balls to talk down on your fan base because of your history on the field. Bullshit. They're not booing you for that. They're booing you for the 30 to 40 fucking civil lawsuits you had on your ass when you were too busy giving out massages or receiving massages instead of trying to improve every aspect of your game. I mean, my God, how worse and how more fucking awful can the Cleveland Browns get?
Well, one thing's for sure about Deshaun Watson. We know he cannot grind it out on the field.
Hell no.
Well,
he never will.
To the defense of Deshaun Watson, no, it was a rub and tug. What are you going to do?
Well, let's just be honest. If Deshaun Watson was the one giving it out, someone tell him that Jed York has $140 for him.
Come on, take the money and run.
Added up $280 million. No, the Browns. Look, I seen a funny meme just like 20 seconds ago. It said, the media, cut this guy. The Browns fan base, cut this guy. Even Deshaun Watson, cut me already. The Browns front office, this is our guy. What the hell? Everybody in America's calling him for him to be cut. Even he called for himself to be cut. Nope, that's our guy.
The flags in America are not being flown at half mast because of Dolly Parton passing away. God rest Dolly. But they're being flown at half mast because they found out Deshaun Watson's the quarterback for Cleveland this year.
It is absolutely sad at the fact that the best thing happening in just like around the Cleveland area right now is nowhere near Cleveland. Literally, the best thing that is happening in the city of Ohio right now, as far as sports are concerned, are the Cincinnati Bengals and the Ohio State Buckeyes. And that is fucking saying something.
Well, before we get to the Joey's NFC East and West predictions, I do want to address the James Harden matter of the situation. And Joey hit the nail on the head with this. You're paying James Harden $97 million on a 3-year deal for what? Because he can score. Ooh, but he was paid for his defensive prowess. Ooh, really good job, Kenny Atkins. Ooh, good job by you to come into your buddy's aid when he got schooled by Jalen Brunson on an 18-1 run in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, dear God. That's when the whole collapse for Cleveland started.
Yup. Harden's like, let me at him. And Brunson's like, all right, I'll let you take me. But nope. He had him on ice. Done. And this deal is terrible on all factors. Because Harden's getting criticized left and right, rightly so, for his poor, pathetic defensive display on the floor. And you're still going to pay him? Like, he's not even the same player he was 10 years ago, let alone 15 years ago.
Nope.
Hell, he's not even the same player 7 years ago when he still had some of his talent still. But anyways, Joey, we done gave our NFC East and West thoughts. What are your thoughts? Where do you want to start?
All right, I'm going to start over the NFC East, but just give me a rundown as to what y'all's lineups were.
Okay, so... Oh, you know what? I just thought about that. Did Kevin, I don't even think, gave his NFC East.
I think the Cowboys. I think he just left because he didn't want to have to mention the Cowboys in the breath of a possible first or second.
All right. Here in the chat. But anyways, so mine were from the bottom to the top. I had Commanders, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles.
Okay.
Ezra had the same order as me.
Yes, I did.
All right, well, my order is going to be different. And I'm not saying that because I am a Commanders fan. I'm saying this because because I want to be as realistic as possible. In fourth place, and the reason why I had them in fourth place is not because of the new head coach, because that is definitely an improvement. I'm doing this, I'm putting this team here because of the questions that I have about them. And that is the New York Giants. I am putting them in last once again. But don't get me wrong. John Harbaugh is definitely an improvement over Brian Daboll. He is definitely an improvement. I will give him that. But I do still have some questions about this Giants team. They got better, for sure, in the offseason. Especially in the tight end position where they were able to snag Isaiah Likely via free agency from the Ravens. But the questions that I have, number one, what is Cam Scatterbo going to look like? Because even when Cam Scatterbo was trying to make a name for himself as a rookie, the Giants still were not getting anything done on the offensive side of the ball. So now that he's back, it makes me wonder if his running prowess is going to improve. Question number two, how good is Odell Beckham going to be? The reason why I say that, and I'm going to copy a comment that Ezra made because I was actually listening to the show while I was closing up at my store. He asked a question, or he made a statement saying that Odell is way past his prime, and I 100% agree with that. Because this is definitely not the same Odell Beckham that we saw back in 2013, 2014, whenever he was lighting it up for the Giants to begin with. No, I'm sorry, not 2013, 14. I'm thinking more along the lines of 2016, 2017. But yet still, this is not the same Odell Beckham from 10 years ago. He's much older. He's way past his prime. And quite honestly, I don't think he has it. I don't think he has it the way he did 10 years ago. He does not. Number three, that ACL for Malik Neighbors. I mean, obviously, he had to go back and have another surgery. They were saying at first he was going to be out 4 to 5 weeks into the season. But now with this other surgery, and if it still tends to give him problems after that, they're saying he could be out for about 2 to 2.5 months now. So at this point, who knows how much longer Malik Neighbors is going to be on the sideline for the New York Giants. And when he's out, there is your number one wide receiver right there. And finally, my last question. Jackson Dart. He, to my knowledge, he had, I want to say, at least 1 to 2 concussions last year.
He did. He did.
And that's why he eventually shut down for the season. Now I get it. He's back. He's healthy. He's out there practicing. That's great. But what if Jackson Dart gets concussed again or gets hurt some other way early on in the season? Who do the Giants have to back them up? Who do the Giants have to back up Jackson Dart? Because he's got that injury concern now attached to his name. I mean, Russell Wilson has moved on. He's hung up the cleats and now he transitioned to a football analyst. And Jameis Winston, I mean, you haven't really heard much out of him in this offseason. I don't even think he's a member of the Giants anymore. So, seriously, who do the Giants have to back up Jackson Dart if he gets hurt again?
Real quick, Joey, I want to read Kevin's NFC East picks right here. He's got the Cowboys at 1 at 11-6, Eagles at 10-7, Commanders at 10-7, and as he calls them, the G strings at 9-8. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's great. But yeah, I mean, I just have so many questions about the Giants. I mean, do I think they're going to be better record-wise? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say record-wise for the Giants, at best, I'm going to say 9-8. At worst, 7-10. Number 3, I really do not like putting them this low. And I hope that they impress the living hell out of me and all the other fans out there. But I'm putting my Commanders at number 3.
Wow.
The reason why is because Jaden, he needs to stay healthy. Terry McLaurin, he needs to stay healthy. Stephon Diggs, he needs to prove that he is the number 2 wide receiver that Washington has wanted this entire offseason. And he needs to bring those stats that he had from Minnesota, Buffalo, and New England and show to everybody that he is still the number 2 wide receiver that everybody has depended on him for. I still have questions about the Commanders' offensive line because Nick Allegretti is battling an injury. There's no telling when he's going to come back. We've pretty much lost Laramie Tunsil for the entire season, but even when we went to the NFC Championship game back in 2024, Laramie Tunsil wasn't on our offensive line. So, I get it. He's going to be missed on the offensive line, but we did just fine without him. So, and we got Sam Cosby coming back. We actually signed a new left tackle earlier today who has played for the Rams and the Cardinals. He's actually played in 108 games since he got drafted first round, 24th overall. I want to say back in the 2018 draft, if I'm not mistaken. I believe his name is DJ Humphreys. He's played in 108 games in his NFL career, and he started 101 of them. So the guy has some starting experience. So maybe, just maybe, we can actually plug him in. And who knows, he may actually be a great offensive tackle for us. You never know. But we did go a lot younger on defense, which I'm glad we did that. We were able to get Amik Robertson and Nick Cross from the Lions and the Colts, respectively, to help boost our secondary. We were able to sign Leo Chenal from the Kansas City Chiefs. We were able to retain Frankie Louvu. We did say goodbye to Bobby Wagner, which is, it's good. It's bad, but it's also good because Bobby Wagner, he was definitely the leading tackler for us the past 2 years, so that presence is going to be missed. But yeah, we got a lot younger in free agency. We signed Odafe Owe away from the Chargers, on a 4-year, $96 million deal, which could turn into $100 million with incentives. We signed Clavion Cason from the New England Patriots on a 1-year deal. We signed Charles Omenihu from the Chiefs away on a 1-year deal. We drafted, hopefully, Bobby Wagner's replacement in the first round with Sonny Styles. We still got Mike Sainristil back there in our secondary. We still got Trey Amos back there in our secondary. Hell, we still got Quan Martin back there, who picked off Jared Goff in the NFC divisional round back in 2024, and who actually got an interception, actually against Detroit in our last preseason game against the Lions. So we definitely got a lot. We definitely got better and got a lot younger in our defense. So because of that, like I said, I'm putting them in third, but I'm really hoping they impress the living hell out of me and all the other Commander fans out there. Record-wise, I would say at worst, 9-8. At best, I'll put them at 11-6. Because the schedule is going to be a lot better for them this year, since they are not going to have that second place schedule this year like they had last year. So yeah, the schedule is going to be a little bit better for them. At least I think, especially in the second half of the season after our bye week. But second place, I'm going to put Dallas here, mainly because of that offense. If I'm looking at this Dallas Cowboys team with the high-powered offense and the less than stellar defense, and I'm literally seeing a prototype copy of the Cincinnati Bengals because you got the high-powered offense with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, but then you don't really have a defense. And that's what I see in Dallas. I mean, you got Dak Prescott, who, as long as he can stay healthy, which this would be the season that he gets hurt because it's literally every other season.
Yep.
But you got Dak Prescott, as long as he can stay healthy, you got CeeDee Lamb and you got George Pickens playing on that franchise tag.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Dallas definitely has that offense as long as Dak Prescott can stay healthy. But if he gets hurt at some point in this season to where he has to miss multiple games, that is really going to hurt them. It's really going to hurt them. And at number 1, obviously, who's left? The Philadelphia Eagles. Kevin Patullo is gone as the offensive coordinator.
Thank God.
And I think that is going to be the reason why Philadelphia's offense is going to be a little bit better this year, even though they do not have A.J. Brown. They do still have Devontae Smith, who showed wide receiver 1 qualities last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I get it. They have that rookie wide receiver out of USC, Mekhi Lemon, who's gonna be out for about 3 to 4 weeks because of that hamstring. But he should be back. If not by week 1, then definitely by week 2. But in the meantime, Jalen Hurts, who has received a little bit of criticism as of late, he still has Devontae Smith to throw to, as well as Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley to hand off to. So say what you want about Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's still a pretty decent quarterback. I mean, and the defense, I mean, you got Cooper DeJean back there who intercepted, who got that pick 6 off Patrick Mahomes back in the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Yep.
I mean, and you still got Jalen Carter back there for the Eagles on a D-line. You got the untouted leader of that Philadelphia Eagles defense and linebacker Zach Bond. So, I mean,
Yep.
the Eagles, they're going to be hard to beat this year. Record-wise for the Cowboys, I'm going to say 10-7 for the Cowboys. For the Eagles, I'm going to say 11-6.
That's exactly what I had about. I said Eagles at best 10-7, at least 10-7, but at best 11-6.
All right, so now that brings me to the NFC West. Due to time crunches, I'm not going to ask the order. I'm just going to go right into it. Obviously, 4th place, Arizona, because I mean, Jacoby Brissett is your starter. Kyler Murray's not there anymore. I mean, the lone bright spot you technically have on the Arizona Cardinals right now is their 99 club on Madden tight end Trey McBride. And that's literally it for Arizona. You got nobody else.
Yep.
On that Cardinals team.
Now 3-1, that's gonna be tough, probably.
3-1 is gonna be tough, but number 3, this may seem a little bit of a surprise, considering the fact that they won the Super Bowl last year.
Wow, you got Seattle at number 3.
I'm putting Seattle at number 3, mainly because I have some questions about the Seattle team. Number 1, that schedule. Because you know for a fact that since they won the NFC West last year, that schedule is now going to be a lot harder for Seattle. Considering the fact that they're starting with the runner-ups, the New England Patriots, in week 1 on Wednesday night. I mean, that right there is going to be a tough game for them.
Yeah.
That schedule for Seattle is going to be a hell of a lot tougher. Number 2, even though they were able to bring back some players from last year's team, they did lose a lot of players, especially on that defense. especially on that defense. Now, do I still think Seattle's defense is going to be pretty good? Absolutely. But, I mean, it's not going to be as good as they were last year. And last but not least, number 3, Sam Darnold. I get it. The guy had a great year last year. He had a natural resurgence last year because of JSN. But honestly, Sam Darnold, if my facts are correct, he did not have a single turnover last year in the playoffs.
He did
Quite
not.
honestly, how many times can you rely on Sam Darnold? How many times can you rely on him to do that again?
That's a fair
You
point.
can't. You absolutely can't.
That's a fair point.
That is a fair point. Number 2, I'm putting the 49ers here because the 49ers, I mean, you got Brock Purdy, you got Christian McCaffrey. They brought back Deebo Samuel. That's going to take some of the pressure off of Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, they're going to be without Ricky Pearsall this season, but they were able to sign Mike Evans over from Tampa Bay to be their number 1 wide receiver. And as far as what I've seen so far out of this rookie, DeJon Stribling, I mean, he could be a great wide receiver for San Francisco this year. That and the fact that you got Fred Warner back after being out for the majority of the season last year. You got Nick Bosa, who's back. I mean, I will say if their owner wasn't so obsessed with trying to bring a prostitute onto his lap, I mean, the 49ers' future could look a little bit brighter, but because of that, I mean, the future still looks bright, just not for the ownership. But number 1, obviously the LA Rams, because they were able to land Myles Garrett. You got Matt Stafford. You got Puka Nacua. I mean, you still got Devontae Adams. You got Kyron Williams. You got Trent McDuffie over from the defense. And there's still rumors floating around about Aaron Donald. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if it's going to come to fruition for Aaron Donald to come back for play for the Rams this year, because Aaron Donald technically is still under contract for the Rams for $30 million, which means that if he comes back, they're going to have to pay him that $30 million in order for him to play. But here lies the issue. The Rams only have $15 million in cap space. So that means that if they want to really bring Aaron Donald back, they're going to have to restructure that deal to where Donald's going to have to take some sort of pay cut. And I don't know if Aaron Donald's going to want to do that, even if he is 35 years old. And especially since you got contract extensions for Puka Nacua, as well as the extensions for that you signed Myles Garrett to, as well as Matthew Stafford. I mean, I don't know if you're going to have the cap space to bring him back. I really don't. But yeah, Rams 1, Niners 2, Seahawks 3, Cardinals 4. And with that being said, I hate to get off here, but I just pulled up at the castle, so I'm going to go ahead and get off here because I can hear my bed calling my.
All right, dude. Great job, man. Glad you're able to come on, man. Take care, dude.
Big news about the changes that's going to take place this year.
We lost you for a split second because your audio cut out. Repeat that again.
Oh, sorry. I said looking forward to the playoff predictions next week, and then the week after that is when I drop the big news that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Looking forward to that.
Yup.
But yep, that is going to be it for me. Deshaun the Boozer is out. Peace.
Later, dude.
Yep.
And I think that's going to do it for me here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Ezra. Thank you to Ezra. Thank you to Joey. Thank you to Kevin for joining us here tonight, joining me tonight. What a lot of fun tonight. Lots of fun, like always. We always have a fun ton of time coming on here and just bullshitting, having a good time, cutting up, having a good time, and most importantly, having fun with each other, talking sports, and so on and so forth. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for here tonight. Again, you can follow us on Twitter or X at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and where we have been live tonight for another edition of our Nation Sports Show right here on YouTube.com, YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Be sure to like, share, subscribe to all your family and your friends that love the world of sports. And again, don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, everywhere it's on the Instagram, the YouTube, and the Facebook pages. They are all simply at the Nation's Corner. Join the guys and gals as they talk about all things professional wrestling. RASSLIN, that's wrestling. And that will do it for us here tonight. And looking forward to being back on with you guys and gals watching us next week as we continue our NFL season previews. But this time, we make our playoff predictions based on our predictions and thoughts on the conference previews during the last 4 weeks. That'll be a lot of fun. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week and upcoming weekend. You can follow us at our individual channels down there in the description. You can also follow our boy Hijacker Mike at Mr. Mac, MISTAMACC on the Twitter machine. And you can also follow his cigar channel on Twitter. It is at Smoke in the Bay, THA Bay. And again, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you for joining us here this evening. Thanks to everybody watching live and on demand as well. So with that being said, for myself, Stephen Wyand, Ezra Vickery, Kevin Rory, and Joey Thornton, this has been another outstanding edition of our Nation Sports Show. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your week and upcoming weekend, and have a wonderful rest of your night, upcoming week, and weekend. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up.
Thanks for watching this week's feature presentation of our Nation Sports Show.